portion of the Lesson 11 essay over the Nike Corporation. We're going to have a quick overview of what we learned during the essay. So let's dive right in. On page 27 of Nike's 10K annual report, I found this graph. You'll see Nike here with the square on the yellow line and the Dow Jones Footwear Index. Same color line with a circle. So we can trace that here. They're right together. They start to verge off later on and closer to 2023, and Nike is underperforming compared to them. And it just tends to widen through here, and then they stay parallel while they both decline. Also, we can compare the S&P 500 index to the S&P 500 apparel, accessories, and luxury goods index. So the first one is a triangle and the second one is a diamond there. So you see they're definitely, they cross paths here. The luxury goods here and the S&P 500 in general. So that says something about, that industry and those luxuries. Again, you can track Nike in comparison. They're that square, and they're just underperforming, in terms of the S&P 500. But you see this line intersect and cross, so they are overperforming or outperforming, the general apparel, accessories, and those luxury goods all the way through about halfway of 2024 and have dipped below. So Nike is not having its best performance right now. We'll move right along. Looking at the cash ratio for Nike, it did drop below 1 for 2025. We want to see that above 1, and you see the formula there, how we calculate that. So something to definitely keep an eye on that would need to be tweaking their practices. We want to see that number above 1, even though they're not that far behind. Inventory method. So one of the largest assets that Nike would have would be its inventory, and we have to account for it, and we use the FIFO method. It's the best fit for Nike, it being in the fashion industry, in industry where sales and products are somewhat seasonal. It makes the most sense when products come in. The first ones in are the first ones out. Other products are maybe a little less seasonal. It's fine that they're not necessarily the first ones out with that. And there's of course tax implications in all of these, but this Nike would perform best, and it makes the most sense for their business. Net purchases. What are we buying? Something needs to be monitored and kept under control. Have the formula listed there for you and perform the algebra to get us our net purchases. And this is going to be key to finding out if there's room for growth, how our margins are doing. I find it kind of interesting with the shoe illustration there. Keeping their purchases under control, and I'm sure there's systems in place that, for management to approve certain benchmarks and have authority levels to make sure that stays in a proper range. We've got the average inventory here calculation based upon a couple different numbers here. Basically, I want to know what their inventory turnover is. So we've purchased these raw materials, we've purchased these products. How long does it take for us to turn that over in a year? And it turned out it was 3.5 times. So that's how many times in 1 year it turned over. How many days did the inventory sit? And it was 104 for Nike, and I've explained that further in the essay. Moving right along, accounts receivable is going to be important. Due to revenue recognition, we recognize that when the product is sold, but doesn't mean we have the cash in hand. So we calculate that as well. We want to know, once we've sold that on credit, how, what does that look like to turn over our accounts receivable? And We found it at 10.13, that is in millions. This is closely related to our days sales outstanding. So we take our figures and how many days is it taking to receive that payment once we have it's been issued, that credit sale's been made. Can it be improved? I think so. We didn't look closely at Nike's terms, but we did examples in our homework of 210 or net 30. So Nike sells on credit to a customer, and so if you pay that within 10 days, you can get 2% discount. Or if you're at the end of the 30 days, within that, by day 30, we need it in full. So just to get that number down, that would be a potential way to help out with that. We talk about debts and liabilities in the essay. They are certainly different. The liabilities are, something that we owe, but it's not it's a cost to us, but it's not necessarily on credit or like debt would be. Nike's has some liabilities that are contingent, they're dependent, such as a lawsuit. And they didn't find anything or report anything in their 10K report that was likely to be a significant expenditure to the business. Moving right along, that's our conclusion. At the very end of the essay, we talked about, is that everything in the 10K report sufficient for investing? I think not. It is an excellent start. Again, this was a quick overview. There's so much information in that 10K. But for further details, see SA11, and thank you for your time.